Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of WTF. I'm Will.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Greg.
Why don't you introduce everybody? No, fuck that. I fucked that up.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Hey Greg, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us why you're here and what charity you're promoting?
Well, you're paying me huge dollars to be here, which I think is fantastic. It's actually one beer, which really, I would do it for half a beer. But hey, I'm here.
Sold.
I'm excited.
Sold.
Glad you came.
Blanket BC Society is a nonprofit organization that my son Benjamin and I started just under 14 years ago, and we go around collecting and distributing blankets and warm clothing for shelter programs and families in need while promoting volunteerism at a really young age. We also work with Indigenous groups and First Nations peoples, and we're also doing humanitarian aid around the world. Right now we're actually doing a campaign where we're collecting about 13,000 blankets, 10,000 pairs of eyeglasses, and 10,000 pairs of shoes, and we're gonna, along with some medical supplies, and we're gonna ship that out to Zimbabwe and Mozambique.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
fantastic.
I've actually heard of you guys.
oh, very cool.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that you were on the Fox.
I was on the
You've been
Fox,
on the
yeah.
Fox at least once, if not a couple of times.
The radio,
Yeah,
I've been on
the
Fox.
Fox radio station.
That's right. Been on Fox.
He's been on. I've seen him on TV as
Yeah.
well. He's been all over.
I'm a celebrity.
Yes.
No, I've heard of that. That's awesome. That's really cool work.
Yeah,
you do, truly.
it's a lot of fun, and it's going into our 14th year, and over 435,000 blankets handed out to people in need. It's pretty cool. It's a good feeling, and it's great to be able to work with my kids, Ben and Emma, and give them something to do on their time off instead of just sitting down and playing video games or
for sure.
whatever kids do nowadays.
And on the show today, we're reviewing the movie Aladdin. Ooh. I know, I'm pretty excited about this.
Starring Will Smith.
Yeah, Mena, Massoud, and
I don't know how to pronounce those guys' names.
No, that's it. That's pretty.
Naomi
much it.
Scott. That was a tough one for you, Trev. I know.
Okay, yeah, and she was in a movie that you might have seen her in called The Power Rangers.
Yeah, she played the Pink Power Ranger. I know. Mm-hmm. She was, which is actually a pretty badass movie, to be all things considered.
You saw that movie?
I did. I enjoyed it. It was actually pretty good.
Have you seen it, Greg?
Loved it.
For real?
For real. It was good.
Yeah.
Morin Kenzari. Mm-hmm. He's actually been in a few things.
Jafar.
Well, yeah, he played Jafar.
Yeah.
He was in the most recent movie, The Mummy.
Yeah, and the most recent Ben-Hur, and the most recent Murder on the Orient Express.
I think all flops.
Although Murder on the Orient Express was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it because Johnny Depp got wasted right away. Just got slaughtered.
Oh, I like that.
That was pretty awesome. So that was
Will
cool.
likes flops.
But actually, probably one of the coolest stars about the movie is Guy Ritchie. He directed the film, and I'm a huge fan of him.
Yeah, I'm a big Guy Ritchie fan too.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked that he actually is doing or agreed to do this film.
But if you don't know who Guy Ritchie is, he was in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, or
Snatch was
Snatch.
I think one of the best films.
My favorite.
He also did the Sherlock Holmes, both those, which are actually pretty fantastic as well.
I didn't care for those very much.
Well, you suck.
Hey, if you were going to describe the story, well, how would you describe it?
Well, before I want to say, Aladdin was one of my quintessential movies growing up. I was a huge fan. It was one of the only few movies my parents actually took me to as a kid in theaters. My parents were very select, and Aladdin was one of them. I've loved it.
Snatch was the other one.
I've loved it, and I had very low expectations
going into this
one because I had loved the original so much. So. Just wanted to say that out there first. And just like you guys, I'm sure you watched it when it came out in the early 90s.
You know what, I did, but honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of Aladdin, personally. I don't know why, it just wasn't something that I connected with, so, yeah.
I'm on that opposite spectrum. I was a huge Robin Williams fan, and part of my comedic chops, I took a lot from him and Jim Carrey. In fact, I was quoted when I was doing a theater show that you saw, which brought me over to your movie.
Right. In White Rock.
Yeah, in White Rock. In the paper, they said that I must be the love child between Robin Williams and Jim Carrey.
Well, that must have been a great compliment.
Well, I thought it was a compliment, but apparently it wasn't. Apparently it was not. But I really liked Aladdin because I love the story.
Yeah.
I love the street rat story, and I love Jasmine. I mean, I wish I was a cartoon back then because I would have taken Aladdin out, and I would have gone in there myself. But
Robin Williams' genie really did really finished the movie off nicely.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think most people remember about that movie
Yeah.
is Robin Williams.
Totally.
Because of the great
Comedic.
performance he put on there, for sure.
The story is about a street rat who desires more from his life and ends up finding a magic lamp who grants him 3 wishes. It's a very basic premise, but that's the premise of the story.
Yeah, and so this is obviously a Disney production, and it's a huge production. This was like $183 million put towards this. And I think you actually see that when you watch this film, because it is a huge Disney production. Like the colors, the set design, everything. The
Every
CGI.
prop,
like
everything.
you can tell there is a shit ton of money put into this film. Because it's all on screen for
sure.
sure.
They didn't spare a single
have to say for
expense
sure.
on anything but it seemed like sets and prop. Like it was unbelievable.
Like if you've ever been to Disneyland, it's like an adventure, and I think that was their idea when they did this, because this whole story feels like an adventure right from the get-go.
Totally.
Does anybody know how much Will got paid, Will Smith?
I don't. That's a good question, because
See,
it must have been a lot.
See, that 183, I think about 83 million went to his pocket, because I know they did a lot on CGI. I think they could have done better with some casting.
Oh,
I
for
did
sure.
not like Jafar. I hated Jafar, and I really couldn't stand the Sultan. I liked the actor who played the Sultan.
Yeah.
But I thought it should have been played by somebody else. You know that little fat, chubby dude from the original Mummy?
Yes.
That guy.
Yes.
I forgot his name.
Yes.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking. I can't
I should
remember
be
his
a
name.
casting director.
I don't know his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But also Iago. What was with Iago? Like, okay, Gilbert Gottfried should
Yes.
have been. They should have had a connection from the original to this one, and it would have been Iago, and it would have been so much better. It would have made Jafar even more dastardly.
I had the exact same thoughts. Like, why isn't Gilbert Gottfried voicing Diago this time?
Tell me some stuff you liked about the film.
Well, okay, so what I did like about it is I liked how they cast Mena. Is it Mena? Mena Massoud?
Mena Massoud, yeah.
He's a Canadian. He's from Markham, Ontario, if I remember correctly. So good Canadian kid, born in Cairo though. So he's got that background, that Middle Eastern background, which I thought was really great. And Naomi Scott, she's an English actress, so she's being a Brit. Her mother was Ugandan. Her dad was. I did my history.
Oh, apparently you did.
Research
Come on
for
now.
sure. We're not used to that.
And if I remember correctly, actually they're both pastors, and she actually met her husband, who is a footballer, at her church. Just
You know what you'd be really good at
FYI.
as well as pop-up video.
But I did like their casting. I like that. They did have a good chemistry. My daughter Emma was my date last night, and that's who I went out to see this movie. And she really enjoyed it. And what I really thought was really cool is the audience was really into it.
The kids?
the
Was it the
kids
adults
and
as
the
well?
adults. Yeah, the kids and the adults. Will Smith actually did a pretty good job. He put his own little oomph into it.
Yeah.
I was
Surprised. I was surprised.
Yeah, so was I.
I was basing, I had Rob Williams in my mind the whole time.
Yeah.
What he did, how he interacted with the movie, and I was like, I don't know, Will Smith, is he going to do it? But
Yeah, he made it his own. He's a
own.
great actor, actually. I think he's really good.
Oh, totally. I mean, I actually am a big fan of his, but this is a Robin Williams role to fill.
Yeah.
So what are you, Trev? What do you like, dislike?
I thought Will Smith was good. I thought the acting was okay. Once again, because they put so much money in it, you could tell that the production value looked amazing. Like everything looked great. But yeah, it was actually surprisingly good. Better than I thought it was going to be, because I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. But I found myself once we got into the story and once Will Smith came out. Once again, it's like you have the main headliner of the film, and he didn't show up for like the first half hour, right? I mean, you see him at the beginning, but like in a different sort of form. And then when the genie came out, then it sort of picked up a little bit more pace, I thought. I mean,
Yep.
but all in all, it wasn't that bad. That's what I would say about the film. So, what do you want to rate this film out of there, Will?
Well, today we decided to rate this film on lamps. It seemed very fitting.
What kind of lamps?
Genie magic lamps.
Okay, excellent.
That's right, little rubbing lamps.
Well, I give it. To be honest, I'll give it a good 3. Are we doing it at 5?
No, we do it out of 10.
Oh, out of 10.
We do it out of 10.
I'll give it a 6 lamps out of 10.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a feeling Will likes it a little bit more than you did.
Probably.
Probably. Trevor, you go for it.
What am I guessing? What you're gonna pick or my pick?
No, you pick. You
Okay.
you too?
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree with Gregory on this. I'll give it about a 6.
You guys are bums.
That's it. I'm out of here.
but I'll give it a 7.5 because I like my halves.
Yeah, you do like your
I do
halves.
like my half. 7.5 out
Just
of
to
10.
make it different.
Yeah.
Just to get one in on me.
You know, I'm half a man.
Greg, did you mention anything about how people can get in contact with you about your charity or how they can donate or help out?
Oh, well, blanketbc.org. That's simple. Just go to our website and fill out requests, whether you want to donate or whether it's warmth, blankets and clothing and stuff, or even monetary donations we accept. And even office equipment. We're actually trying to build an office, so if you have any extra spare office equipment like printers, we'll accept those too.
So there will be a link in the description below,
Yeah.
so you can contact.
Please
Greg's
donate. This man is a
organization.
gem. He's an actor, a singer. He's a triple threat. I'm sure he can dance.
Yeah.
He's dancing, acting around us right now, so,
Cool.
This is my shtick, man. I tell you, this is what I can do all day long,
And his charity is a very worthwhile cause, so
Thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
truly is.
And big shout out to my kids. I love you guys. You know I love you.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for watching another episode of WTF, and we'll see you next time.